Welcome to Vibes of India. I'm Janvi Sunaya and we are here yet again to discuss about another important issue faced by minority schools due to the amendments in Gujarat Secondary and Higher Secondary Education Act. Today I'm sitting with Gujarat High Court advocate Mohammad Isa Hakim and he will tell us about the act, how will it impact the minority schools and what is the way ahead. Welcome Mohammad Isa Hakim to our conversation setup and please tell us about something about the whole act and the amendment.
So before addressing the amendments, it is important to understand that minority educational institutions are established in exercise or in realization of fundamental rights under Articles 29 and 30 of the Constitution of India.
Okay.
Articles 29 and 30 are two standalone articles which are in the fundamental rights chapter of the Constitution under the heading cultural and educational rights.
Okay.
So Article 29 says that any community having a distinct language, script or culture has a right to conserve the same. And secondly, Article 30 says that any religious or linguistic minority has the right to establish educational institutions and administer them as per their choice. So these are two articles in expression of which minority educational institutions are established. And they are protected under the fundamental rights chapter, which means that any person can go directly to court if these rights are violated. Right. So it is also important to note the history behind how these articles were inserted into the Constitution. In the Constituent Assembly, when the Constitution was being framed, it was happening in the aftermath of a religion-based partition.
Okay.
And it was realized that minorities would feel insecure in a country because partition happened on the basis of religion, right?
Yeah.
So to alleviate those concerns, these two articles were added into the Constitution so that minorities would be assured that their educational rights would not be hampered.
Yeah.
And it is also important to note that this was happening when in the US schools were still segregated on the basis of color. The US Supreme Court's perhaps the most landmark decision of the US Supreme Court on civil liberties is called Brown versus Board of Education, where the Supreme Court of the US said that segregation in schools on the basis of color is unconstitutional. And this is a 1954 judgment of the Supreme Court. So the situation at that time was such that even in the oldest democracy of the world, segregation was there. So keeping that in mind and in order to protect educational rights of minorities in India or to alleviate their insecurities and concerns, these two articles were introduced.
True.
And so the Gujarat Secondary or Higher Secondary Education Act, coming to your question, it basically regulates schools all over Gujarat.
Gujarat, yeah.
It establishes what we colloquially call the Gujarat Board, the Secondary and Higher Secondary Gujarat Board. In that act, there were certain protections to minority educational institutions.
True. That you can appoint teachers, you can
appoint teachers of your choice, you can terminate them on your own.
Yeah.
And then innocuous or smaller rights like you can have your own calendar.
Okay.
So if you are a minority school,
you would have different festivals.
Exactly, you would have different festivals. You may have slightly longer holidays on certain times, slightly shorter. So these were small things that were saved for minority educational institutions. Now in 2021, the amendment that has been brought in, certain sections have been removed and certain sections have been inserted. That's slightly complicated. But the effect of it is that minority educational institutions will not be able to appoint teachers
Teachers.
as per their choice.
Yeah.
They will have to appoint teachers which are
Approved by.
approved by the government or whose names have been given to them by the government.
Yeah.
So that's the main grievance behind the petitions that have been filed before the Gujarat High Court, that we as minority educational institutions, we have the right to appoint teachers, principal and staff of our
Yeah.
choice.
But what do you think can be the future implications of this amendment in the law?
So minority educational institutions, and it's important to note that here I am talking about religious as well as linguistic minorities.
Yeah, which
Schools that are famously known as Christian missionary schools
Yeah.
are also minority education.
Christians and Urdu.
Exactly, they are also minority educational institutions. And then there are linguistic minority educational institutions. For example, Marathi is
Yeah.
a
Is
minority language in Gujarat. Hindi is a minority language in Gujarat. So all those institutions that are based for the conservation of a particular language or a particular religion or a culture,
Yeah.
those institutions are minority educational institutions. So the implication of this would be that the school will not be able to appoint a teacher of its choice.
Yeah.
And it is important that for a minority institution to preserve its character, to preserve its unique character,
It's the crux.
teachers are the most important factor.
Yeah.
Teachers are the heart and soul of any school, or the principal are the heart. Principal is the main person who manages the teacher. So these peoples are the key personnel who are shaping the school.
Yeah.
And in order that a particular minority educational institution's character is conserved, it is very important for the management of the school to have the right to appoint teachers who are conducive or suitable to that minority educational institution. But when the government is appointing without any representation or
Of the minority.
of the trust of the school, of the management of the school, then the particular character of the school will not be preserved.
Yeah.
And eventually these institutions might even fall apart.
True. Do you think it will also impact in the loss of dissent in the coming future?
That is something that is a
can be
little
very
far-fetched.
far-fetched.
But I mean, rapport between a student and a teacher, communication between them is the entire point of schooling.
Yeah, true.
Even a student can even stay at home and read the books.
Yeah.
But the conversation that is happening between a teacher and a student is the essence of schooling.
True.
And if the teacher is not conducive, or the rapport between the teacher and the students
not-
is let's say the atmosphere is not very conducive for teaching and for learning, perhaps the students will not benefit from schooling. And it will also lead to a situation where two different identities are colliding with each other.
True. And Gujarat has been a model state for so many things. Do you think this is also a similar case where this is amended in Gujarat and it might lead to a similar implication in the nation?
No, not really, because firstly, such an amendment has happened in West Bengal. After that, a similar amendment has happened in Uttar Pradesh as well, and a similar amendment has happened in Gujarat as well. So, I mean, here there is nothing that is very unique about Gujarat in that sense.
Okay.
But yes, all such acts have been challenged in their respective high courts for being violative of the right of minorities to administer institutions as per their choice, guaranteed under Article 30 of the Constitution.
Okay.
So it is a matter of time when we get to see what happens in those petitions.
Yeah. And do you see any positive light in this whole amendment?
Look, it's a very short amendment. The only provision that has been
About
replaced
these
is
two
about
two
appointing
articles. Yeah.
teachers, about the minority losing its right to appoint teachers.
But will it ever help, or it will help this minority schools in any way?
Look, I mean, obviously it's entirely speculative to say whether it will help or not. But it's important to acknowledge the logic on both ends. The logic behind this amendment is that teachers would be only appointed after being after
Scrutinized,
clearing,
yeah.
after scrutiny and after clearing what is called the teacher's aptitude test, or
yeah.
TAT for short.
Yeah.
So the logic behind this amendment is that the TAT would ensure that a certain quality of teachers are being appointed,
Yeah.
and excellence in education will be achieved if teachers of a certain quality who have cleared
Yeah.
a certain exam are appointed in
Yeah.
schools.
True.
And the further the logic is that um, if the minorities have a completely carte blanche right to appoint
Yeah,
teachers of their
teachers.
choice, then perhaps they will appoint teachers who are not so competent, and that will lead to maladministration of the school,
Yeah.
which
So that is-
again they don't have the right to do. So there is a logic behind it, but it runs contrary to Article 30 of the Constitution, in my opinion. Obviously the issue is sub judice before the High Court and it is pending consideration, but apparently it goes against Article 30 of the Constitution.
Okay. And this was about the amendment, the act. But what is your view on the overall minority education in Gujarat?
So there are close to 397 to 400 minorities.
400
minority
schools,
schools in Gujarat. They include linguistic as well as religious
Yeah.
minority schools. And apart from that, there is a minority scholarship scheme also that is administered by the central government. These schools are functioning fairly well from my limited information on this.
Okay.
And apart
Are
from
there any challenges that this minority schools are facing in any way that also needs to be addressed?
not really. I mean, obviously, I don't have complete information to answer that question properly. But one thing that can be pointed out here is that this particular right is being restricted in respect of minority educational institutions that are receiving a grant from the government.
Yeah.
It's not in case of unaided minority education institutions.
Okay.
So all these schools are receiving a grant from the government, and so another logic of the government is that because you are receiving grant from us, you have to ensure a certain level of excellence in education, which is ensured by this test.
Yeah.
So that is the logic, but at the same time, the guarantee under Article 30 of the Constitution is of the highest implication. It is, and another misconception that needs to be cleared about this is that it's generally perceived that the right under Articles 29 and 30 is an exception, or it's a privilege granted to minority
Yeah.
education institutions. But the judgments of the Supreme Court are very clear on this. They say that this is not an exception to equality.
Yeah.
It is a manifestation of equality. It is rather giving expression to equality, that this right is being given to certain disadvantaged groups so that their situation can be alleviated or made better. So it's not a privilege that is being granted. It's a manifestation of equality. It's the realization of true substantive equality for which this right is available to minority education institutions.
True. And coming back to the amendment, do you think that it also is a different way of saying that minority schools does not have the capability to monitor or handle their own schools? Or we wouldn't...
There is no certain way of saying that. A law, what is the thinking behind a law is not necessarily relevant. What is relevant is the text of it. Obviously there is a logic behind it, and it's perhaps supported, probably supported by certain judgments. So if that be so, then that is the logic behind it. No other sinister or something conspiratorial thing behind it.
And in a recent case, Gujarat State filed an FIR against a school in Godhra, which was run for, I guess, over 35 years, saying that it was running illegally.
Okay.
So, do you think that in some ways this amendment in law can also be misused by the government?
No, not at all. I mean, so the schools that this particular amendment will affect are schools that are receiving grant from the government, which means that they are registered with the government.
Yeah, true.
And secondly, they will also have a minority certificate, which is also granted under the Gujarat Secondary Education Act and the Grant in Aid Code.
Okay.
So under these two laws, a minority status is granted to a school.
Yeah.
So this particular amendment will affect only those schools that are certified as minority schools and are also registered with the government for receiving grant.
Okay. And do you see any reason behind this amendment at this point in time? Or it can be just an internal decision?
Yeah, nothing in particular. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there is no problem that is being sought to be addressed.
Yeah.
The only logic behind the amendment is, as I told you, that in order to achieve excellence, teachers should be appointed by the state. That is the logic, and there is nothing that is
There's
pressing.
no reason. Yeah. There's no pressing issue behind it.
There is no pressing issue behind it. However, achieving excellence in education is always an issue. And I mean,
and it's not just with minorities, even overall.
Exactly.
True. No. So all we can do is just wait and watch for the future implications of the amendment. Then
they are challenged before the High Court. So the challenge will be heard, and we will.
Do you see any hopes?
I mean, since I am advocate for one of the petitioners who has challenged this particular amendment, I would not be commenting any further on it.
Okay.
But I mean, there is a logic and there is a counter logic.
Okay. All we can do is wait and watch. So let's see. And thank you so much for enlightening us on the whole issue and adding more information to what we already had. And I'm sure it will also help all those people who are watching us right now. For more such conversations, for more such addressing of issues, keep watching Vibes of India. Thank you.